All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to connect the dots between a few headlines from the world of AI that on the surface seem totally random. I mean, they look like just regular news updates. But when you piece them together, you start to see this powerful, self-reinforcing cycle that is just cranking up the speed on the entire industry. Let's see how it all fits together. So here's the puzzle we're solving today. You've got a brand new AI model from Anthropic, you've got a super confident claim from the chip giant NVIDIA, and you've got two very, very different companies raising a whole lot of money, $138 million combined. What in the world do these things have to do with each other? Well, let's start with piece number one, the new model. So, our first piece of the puzzle is this new AI contender. It comes from Anthropic, one of the top AI research labs out there, and they just dropped a seriously powerful new model that's already making some big waves. Okay, so this new model from Anthropic, it's not just some minor tweak. We're talking about a major leap forward in what AI can actually do, especially for really complex stuff like writing code or building automated agents. But here's the kicker, and this is just as important. They made it cheaper. By slashing the price, Anthropic is basically putting this incredibly powerful tool into the hands of way more developers. And what does that mean? More apps, more cool new ideas, and, you guessed it, a massive, ever-growing hunger for raw computing power. And that leads us right to our second piece.
Right. All that incredible new AI software needs a place to run. And that brings us to the engine under the hood, the absolute battle for compute. Every single time a company like Anthropic releases a more powerful model, it's like they've built a Formula One race car that needs an even more ridiculously powerful engine. And in AI, that engine is built out of silicon. And then you get this quote from NVIDIA dropped right when their competitors were trying to make noise. NVIDIA is not being subtle here. They're basically planting their flag and telling the world they plan to stay the #1 go-to platform for AI. They know that every single new AI model out there runs on their chips, and the fight to be that foundational hardware is just unbelievably intense.
And here it is, the direct link. It's really simple. The smarter the AI software gets, the hungrier it gets for computing power. These things don't just magically exist on the internet, they run on tens of thousands of highly specialized chips. So more advanced models directly pump billions into the hardware market. But the models and the hardware, they both need one more crucial ingredient to keep going. Cash.
Which, of course, brings us to piece number 3 of our puzzle. Let's follow the money. We're going to look at 2 recent funding rounds that look worlds apart, but they actually tell us a whole lot about where investors are placing their bets on the future of AI. Okay, first up, a startup called Flywheel. They just raised $18 million. What they do is they use AI-powered video to spot and fix problems on factory production lines. It's a super practical, real-world use for AI. Now, just keep that number in your head and compare it to this next one.
$120 million. That's how much a company called Harmonic just raised. So what is going on here? Why the enormous difference? What could Harmonic possibly be doing that investors think is worth almost 7 times more in a single round of funding?
So here's the breakdown. You got to think of it like this. Investors are playing 2 different games at the same time. Sarian is a bet on the now. It's about applying the AI we already have to solve expensive, real-world business problems today. Harmonic, on the other hand, is a bet on what's next. They're not just trying to fix a factory, they're trying to build a completely new kind of intelligence, one that's based on pure mathematical logic. So there we have it. All our pieces are on the table. A new model, the hardware it needs, and the money that's funding both today's tools and tomorrow's wild ideas. Let's put it all together. Because when you put all of these pieces together, you don't just get a list of news stories. You get something much more powerful. You get a self-reinforcing cycle. It's called the AI Flywheel effect, and it's a system that's just spinning faster and faster every day. Let's just walk through the cycle real quick. Step 1, a company like Anthropic launches a smarter model. Step 2, that immediately creates this massive demand for more powerful chips, which is great news for hardware makers like NVIDIA. Step 3, investors see all this potential and they start pouring money into the system. Some of it goes to practical apps like Zerion, which proves the tech's value right now, and some goes to moonshots like Harmonic, who are chasing the big breakthroughs of tomorrow. And that money, well, it fuels step 4, building the next generation of even more powerful models. And the whole flywheel spins again, only this time it's moving even faster. So, this begs the question. This flywheel is spinning like crazy, but where is it actually taking us? Well, if we look at the most ambitious piece of our puzzle, that huge $120 million investment in Harmonic, it points us toward what might just be the next frontier. Think about it. For years, AI has mostly been about perception. Understanding language, recognizing what's in a picture. But the goalpost is moving. Now it's about building an AI that can handle abstract, logical, mathematical reasoning at a level that is way beyond what any human can do. A lot of people see this as a much harder problem to solve, but if they crack it, it's an infinitely more powerful kind of intelligence.
And that really brings us to the big final question, doesn't it? As this flywheel of models, hardware, and money just keeps accelerating, is this quest for pure logical reasoning the end of the road for AI? Is that the ultimate goal? Or is it just the next big turn on a much, much longer journey? That's something we're all about to find out.